What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. I am finally back from my vacation. It's been quite some time since I've recorded a video, but we are back here with another team eliminated from the playoffs, of course, that the Timberwolves in the conference finals. This is the second year in a row where the Timberwolves have made it to the conference finals and didn't do much when they got there. So let's go ahead and jump in and do this Minnesota Timberwolves offseason elimination rebuild in NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. And we are also on the road to 50,000 subs, so you want to help us reach that goal, that would be amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed the pre-recorded content while I was gone, but I'm happy to be back in the present here, and you guys are no longer seeing a pre-recorded me. This is the actual me today, although I don't know if there's much of a difference, but regardless. So obviously, as I mentioned, the Timberwolves make it to the conference finals for their second year in a row, but fall really flat when they get there. So what did the Timberwolves do this offseason? Well, of course, there's a lot of speculation that the Timberwolves might be going for Kevin Durant this offseason. Do they have enough to pull it off? That I don't know. I have done a video about that before, so I'm kind of hesitant on whether or not I want to trade for Durant again, but I guess we'll see. So I'm obviously going to keep Chris Finch as the head coach. We're just going to head straight to draft night, and I believe this team, yeah, we have the 17th pick because of the Cat trade where the Timberwolves received the Pistons pick here. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can get with the 17th overall selection. Now, obviously, there is maybe a chance that Mike Conley retires, but we don't know that for a fact. He usually does retire in the 2K thing, or thing is not the most intelligent word, but in the player retirements, he usually does retire. But for this share scenario, I've made sure that a lot of the players don't retire just in case, obviously, they keep playing in real life and we can't ever get them back. But with that all being said, let's jump into the 17th pick. Now, one thing I will say, obviously, this team also is sitting on Rob Dillingham, who didn't have much of a role this year, especially in the playoffs, not much of a role at all. So maybe he becomes something for them eventually, but we'll have to see. So we have Carter Bryant, who I don't think he'd make it this far. He's getting some lottery projections, but obviously he'd be kind of a no-brainer if he did fall to you in Minnesota. If you're Minnesota, there's Jace Richardson as well, Danny Wolf, a lot, and then Asa Noel as well, which isn't a bad option. But I do think I'm going to go ahead and take Carter Bryant, although I don't know if he'll make it to 17 in real life. So welcome to Minnesota, Carter Bryant. Then we have an early second as well. So I think with this one, I'll go Ryan. I'll go Ryan Kalkbrenner, I guess. So out of Creighton to give ourselves a center who could maybe play a role eventually, who's already 23. Maybe never plays a role here, but welcome regardless. Player options got Randall, who declines his player option. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. I feel like Randall has probably played himself into a decent contract. So I do think him declining the option is definitely a possibility. The Naz Reid, of course, is an important piece for the Timberwolves. So we'll look to re-sign him. I probably won't worry about Luka Garza, but I'm going to go ahead and keep Josh here, and then Jesse Edwards is a free agent as well. But for free agency, obviously Randall is the free agent, and I don't think if you're Minnesota, well, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because Randall was decent for them in the playoffs. Obviously conference finals was a different story, but for the team, honestly, for the team in general, was a different story. But Naz Reid, I think, is probably the main priority, and then Nick Alexander-Walker's already been talk that he's probably not going to be able to be re-signed if you're the Timberwolves. So obviously there is some money issues that the Timberwolves do have, but one thing is for sure is I want to move DiVincenzo to the 2 guard and not leave him at point guard, because we still have Mike Conley. Maybe we use Mike Conley's contract to do something this offseason. Rob Dillingham, I'd like him to play a role this year unless we end up trading him, which again, if the Timberwolves do pursue Durant, maybe Rob Dillingham is part of that trade, although it would be interesting because obviously, as we know, the Wolves gave up quite a bit to get Rob Dillingham. And then we have Jalen Clark and McDaniels, obviously, and then Carter Bryant, Josh Minott, and then Rudy Gobert. So I guess the one thing I do want to do is I want to have Terrence Shannon part of the rotation as well. He gave them some good minutes in the conference finals when he did play. So we're going to keep him in the rotation and leave him at 3. Goes up to a 77 overall. So I guess the one thing we need to do is just re-sign Naz Reid. I think that's the only thing we can do. Randall, I'd probably want to re-sign as well. But we're going to see how, much cheaper we can get him. So I'm going to go ahead and give Naz Reid a 4-year extension. I think he's kind of an important part if you're Minnesota. And then Randall is starting to get some, nope, not quite. Doesn't have any serious offers yet. I think we probably have to re-sign him. Maybe it's a sign-in trade potentially if you're Minnesota, if they're even able to do that. Obviously, the new CBA is kind of confusing on some certain things, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead. Ooh, 32 million. I was kind of hoping to get him for 25 a year, but I don't think that's gonna be possible. We get him to like 27. 0.5 maybe. I'm going to keep Randall because I do think he's probably somebody. And then I'm just going to assume that the Timberwolves are not going to be able to re-sign to Alexander Walker as much as I want to. We do have guys that can step up in his place anyway, but there's already been I already saw a report that the odds of them being able to keep him are very slim. So we keep Randall and we keep Naz Reid. We didn't do much right now in the offseason, which is obviously not the greatest look, but there's still some things we can do. So I'm going to look to try to trade Mike Conley here, because I do think there's a possibility we can bring something in that could help us. So that is going to be the next thing I might look to do, because that gives Rob down. Well, actually, trading Mike Conley is not necessary. He could be a nice bench piece. So this is kind of what your full rotation is looking like going into next year. And then at the trade deadline, I'm kind of hoping to see if there's any options there. But for this offseason, while we could have traded for Kevin Durant, since I have already done a video on that, I've decided against it. But at the deadline, we will pursue something big, hopefully using Randall's salary. That's my game plan and my thought process right now. So Power Rank has a second overall. I do imagine this team will probably be good in the sim. They usually are, and they also have Naz Reid starting over Gobert, which is interesting. But obviously, Naz Reid's the sixth man, so we'll keep him there. But Rob Dillingham is going to get the start this year. We're going to give him, kind of a role here to see what he can do with it. Edwards, of course, still McDaniels, Randall, Gobert, Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, Shannon, Conley, and Jalen Clark is rotation. As far as aprons are concerned, is this team over the second apron? Yes, we are over it by about, I think it's going to be about 190 million, if I had to guess. Something like that is what the second apron will be. So we're technically at the point where we can't aggregate salaries. So maybe trading Mike Conley would have been in our best interest to try to get him out of here to be under that second apron, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So I will see you guys more than likely at the trade deadline. We may not be able to aggregate contracts, but at least we have Reynolds at 27 million we could use. But we'll see how we're doing at the deadline. Hopefully we're a good team, but there's obviously something we need to do. I don't want to just sit here and run it back. I want to make a move at the deadline, so hopefully there's something for us to pounce on as an opportunity once we arrive there. So at the end of year number 1, while we did not stop at the trade deadline, I did look, but man, there was literally nothing that made sense. I do think we have to make the trade in the offseason if we're going to do something, and Mike Conley's contract being gone should open up an opportunity for us to aggregate salaries, so that's going to make things a lot easier for us. But as much as I didn't really want to run it back, that's basically what I did. My apologies, but I guess Dillingham and obviously Terrence Shannon had bigger roles this time. So I kind of glossed over to see if anybody made an All-NBA team. I don't think I saw anybody make it for us, though, funny enough. So Edwards isn't on here, which is quite surprising. All defensive first team and all defensive second team, we got nothing. But the one thing I will say is we are the first seed in the West, which is nice. So if we take a look at the player stats, he had 27 from Anthony Edwards, 22 from Randall, who's having himself a really good season once again. We'll have to see how these playoffs go. Naz Reid 14, 13 from Dillingham. 10.5 from DiVincenzo, 8 from Shannon, and 8 from McDaniel. So yeah, while we basically did run it back, we did give young players a little bit more of a role. So I guess we changed it up a little bit, you could say. But unfortunately, like I said, I did want to make a big trade. It just wasn't there just wasn't anything there that made sense in my opinion. So we've run it back. So let's see if it goes any differently. So we get to play the Phoenix Suns. Again, we could have traded for Kevin Durant. I do think that's something that could maybe happen in real life. But if you want to see me do a video on that, like I said, I did that a while back. And if Durant obviously was traded to Minnesota in real life, then we'll do a video on that when it happens. But somebody come around against the Phoenix Suns, and we will have a 3-2 series, and we'll go to Game 7. So obviously, these two teams did match up a couple years ago, and Minnesota beat them. But they're looking to return the favor on us, as we might go home in round 1. Thankfully, we take the lead back, and we don't go home in round 1. That was kind of scary there. And now we get to play Denver. So it's basically the same bracket the Timberwolves had themselves a couple years ago, where they played Denver in round 2. So let's see if we can beat Denver again. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to them. So we got ourselves a 2-2 series. That's basically how it started last time, but Minnesota won both games on the road, and then Denver, I think, won both games on the road. It was a weird series, but we're down 3-2. Oh, wait a minute. We might come back. We go to overtime, and we still lose, 149 and 144. We find ourselves down 3-2. If we're able to force a game 7, we have an opportunity to go rematch the Thunder if we win it, but it looks like Denver may have our number here, unless we come back here, which we do, and we will force a game 7. So 114 and 108. Randall was big in this one. Do we go rematch the Oklahoma City Thunder? Let's go find out. So we are at home for game 7 against a good Denver team, and they have the lead. We are heavily on their tail, and they are going to force, or we force overtime. We're going to lose the second round to Denver. So that's disappointing. So OKC, Denver, New York, and Cleveland. And you have the Thunder and the Cavs as they swept the Nuggets. I would have loved to see how we would have done, but we'll never know. So again, this time I promise you a big trade is happening. So Conley should retire. If he doesn't, we're not going to re-sign him, so his contract will be gone. So we should be under the second apron with that $10 million gone, which is nice. Unless the salaries jump up, which is possible. But the second apron should jump up too. So we should be in a good spot. So Orlando number 1, Hornets number 2, and then we have the 26th pick via the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then staff signing, we got Chris Finch, which we'll continue to leave him. But I think if we fail again on his last year of his contract, I think we will not extend him. So 26 and 30. But it is time to look at the trade opportunities. So we have Carter Bryant's rookie salary. We probably still have Leonard Miller's rookie, contract as well. So we have a couple young pieces. We should be under the apron, like I said. So it is time to go find out if we can make a big trade, potentially. That is my game plan. So we'll see if there is a big trade to be made. Wait. Oh, Conley. Whoops. This is what we need to do. So Conley's cap hold is big, which I'm not keeping him. So we're not keeping Mike Conley. And then we're not keeping... we'll leave the rest alone. But Mike Conley's salary should be gone, so that should help out. That's why I was showing some. So we don't need a $16 million cap hold under Mike Conley. That was not necessary. Okay. So I'm going to go pursue some trade opportunities, and we'll go see what there is to find. Hopefully there is a good opportunity for us to jump on. So I have my trade target in mind, and he is in Miami, South Beach. I'm going to see if we can get Bam Adebayo on this team. That is my favorite target by far, someone who would make sense on this roster. So let's go see if we can get Bam Adebayo on this roster to make our defense that much better. He's making $51 million, so we do have to, make up that much salary, but we'll find a way to do it. So Randall's contract, we need 13 more million in here, so like DiVincenzo would be perfect. So Randall and DiVincenzo for Bam Adebayo straight up. I don't know if they'd do that. We're not throwing Carter Bryant in here. I'm kind of hoping he plays a role this year. And then, we could maybe make Leonard Miller accept his team option with the 26th pick as well. These are a couple good players to be throwing at Bam anyway. It does suck to lose DiVincenzo. But if we get Bam Adebayo on this team, that would be awesome. So Randall and Bam Adebayo is the swap plus DiVincenzo's salary, unfortunately. And I'll throw them the 26 plus 30, and they agree. So we get Bam Adebayo on the team now. So that's our brand new addition. Bam and McDaniels is your forward rotation, which is nice. Now, I will say we can move Bam to the center potentially as well. That's still something I might consider because he obviously could play the 5. We'll have Naz Reid backing him up, and we could trade Gobert for something else. Definitely something I'm open to as well, so we may look into that. But Bam Adebayo has been pursued. Now, I am going to see what Rudy Gobert can get us to. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but if there's something that makes sense for us because we can move Bam to the 5, I am open to doing so. Nothing popped up yet that I liked, so we're going to just go away from that. We might look into it again. But Dillingham, Shannon, Leonard Miller, and Ryan Kalkbrenner will bring in. And then Jalen Clark's a free agent as well. Might be looking to bring him back. And then for free agency, we have Josh Minott, also a free agent. May not bring him back. Now, we do have, I don't know why these guys are always waived, but they are. But Jamal Shed and Kaishan George are 2 guys sitting out here that should not be here. But we do need a backup point guard and, a backup guard in general, I guess. But Bam Adebayo, Carter Bryant, and then, again, I still want to trade Gobert and play Bam at the 5, preferably. But, again, we'll have to see if anything opens up for that. So I guess the first thing we can do, since he is here, we can bring back Jamal Shed. Might as well do that. And then we can maybe get Luke Kennard or something like that on the last day of free agency. But Jamal Shed should be a no-brainer. Should not even be here, but he is. And then Jalen Clark, I think I'd like to bring him back, and he could play that backup 2-guard role for us. So that's probably the game plan there. So now it is time to just kind of get out of free agency. Let's still look at Gobert opportunities. So these guys should be back on the qualifying offers, or at least Clark is. So Gobert is down 2, so that does hurt us a little bit. But Clark will probably be the backup 2-guard this year. He'll play some minutes. Carter Bryant's going to play role this year as well, which I'm excited about. And then Dillingham has developed really nicely too. Now, again, I'm going to pursue a Gobert opportunity. Let's see if anything different pops up this time. I actually don't hate the idea of trading for Zach LaVine. He doesn't need to be like the #1 option here, which is why I do think it'd be interesting. Obviously, he started his career in Minnesota, so bringing him back would be interesting. But the one thing I will say is I do not want to trade Terrence Shannon. So Gobert for Zach LaVine, they can't do. If you give me Caden Boozer and I throw you like some seconds, would this be something you could do? No, they don't agree to that. Okay, what if I gave you Ryan Kalkbrenner? So Gobert and Ryan Kalkbrenner for LaVine's not going to get it done. I'll take Valanciunas' contract, even though I don't really want it. Can I throw some seconds? They want Terrence Shannon. They'll give me an unprotected. I do not want to trade Shannon. I'm going to be honest with you. So what if I threw you Leonard Miller, which would suck, but we get Zach LaVine here. I like it. So they want unprotected. They want my unprotected 2028. We'll get their unprotected San Antonio pick that they have. I mean, sure. So the Kings get themselves a rim protector for Sabonis, I guess, to back him up. But we get Zach LaVine, who gives us another scoring punch. He doesn't need to be their one option. I don't trade for LaVine that often. So I like this trade. It's different. It's interesting, but I'm going to do it. So Zach LaVine is now a Minnesota Timberwolf once again. So welcome. Now his contract obviously isn't the greatest, but Gobert's wasn't that great. Well, he got extended actually, so it's a little bit better than it once was. But I do like the addition of LaVine. So we'll have to kind of see what the rotation is going to look like. Obviously LaVine, we could have him come off the bench. We could have him, play a small forward role or something, because defensively we should be really good with Edwards, and then you'll have Bam and Bam Adebayo and McDaniel. So we'll see. Let's go look at the rotation for year 2. But I like the new additions. We've brought in Bam Adebayo and Zach LaVine. So let's see if anything goes differently this coming. Okay, so this is what the rotation is going to look like. So Rob Dillingham, Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine, McDaniels, and Bam Adebayo is your rotation with Naz Reid, Jamal Shed, Carter Bryant, and Jalen Clark off the bench. That leaves Terrence Shannon out, which I would like him to play as well. So we'll give him a nice spot, the 10th spot, 12 minutes off the bench. So I like this a lot. We'll see how this goes. Again, Edwards should be the #1 scorer. We brought in a second scorer with LaVine, who should help him out, and then Bam Adebayo for defense. So I can't wait to see how this is going to go. But I think this should be a good team. Hopefully 2K agrees with that. We're the power rank number 1st overall. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 2, I believe. So at the end of year 2, Jokic wins MVP. Boozer is your rookie of the year. You got Don Harper, 6th man, Wemby defensive player, and Liam McNeely most improved. And Luke is your clutch player, and Kidd is your coach. Aaron Hobson is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third team. So to my surprise, we have not gotten Anthony Edwards on an All-NBA team in this video yet, which is really weird. McDaniels makes it all offensive second team, which is nice, but yeah, very surprised by that. Regardless, we don't end up as the 1st seed this time. We end up as the 3rd seed. We get to play Denver again, who didn't eliminate us last year. So it actually looks like the scoring punch that LaVine I thought was going to give us was not quite there. I mean, I don't really need LaVine to play a big role, but I thought he'd score a little bit more than 12 points per game. What is his shot tendency? It must be low. Whoops, that's oh wow, it is low. Damn, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna give LaVine a little bit higher of a shot tendency. I think he deserves a little bit higher than that, so we need him to obviously step up in these playoffs, so hopefully he does step up. For 4.5, 7 seconds, but we'll see how this is gonna go. We played Denver in round 1. We also are going to shrink this down to 9-man rotation in the playoffs, so we'll see how this is about to go. Somebody current round is what we're going to click this time. So somebody current round, and we are down 3-1. So not a great start. So if we do lose here, Chris Finch is gone. We go in a different direction. And maybe we look to bring LaVine off the bench next year. We did trade for him, so I don't think it's going to be easy to get rid of him. But we do force another game, so we're not dead yet. Let's go to a game 6 and see if we can force a game 7 to happen. Now, if we're able to come back and force a game 7 and then win game 7... totally different conversation we're about to have here, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So Denver beats us 2 years in a row, unfortunately. So now we get to go to the offseason again. Round one this time, and Cavaliers, Nuggets, and Cavs going to win the championship. So Denver has had our number, unfortunately. So we need to find a way to fix that. First thing will be getting rid of Chris Finch. I think we got to blame somebody. Rockets get 1 and 2. That's actually pretty insane. Yeah, that sucks, but it is what it is there. And we have the San Antonio pick now. So as far as head coach is concerned, we're going to go for somebody different now. So we're going to go give Nick Nurse an offer. We'll give Tyronn Lue an offer. We'll give Quinn Snyder an offer. Some of the guys obviously can't go wrong with. And we do get Quinn Snyder to agree. So Quinn Snyder, welcome. Let's get head to draft night. And let's see if there's anything. I mean, we have a late pick. So we're going to let the assistant GM take care of that. We get Daniel Jacobson. Dillingham, Carter Bryant, Shannon will obviously all be accepted. All Shed, Jalen Clark, both free agents that I have interest in bringing back. So Jalen Clark wants $14 million. Probably going to let him come back as qualifying offer for that. And Valanciunas never really planned on keeping him long-term anyway. So is there a move to be made here? I don't know if I can confidently say that. I think we're probably kind of stuck with what we have again and just running it back with a new coach. So that's kind of going to be the hope here. We'll announce everyone. We'll bring back the guys. And Jokic will Hopefully he leave Denver. He usually does, but maybe he goes back. It looks like he might be going back. But usually he goes to the Warriors, but maybe not this time. So let's go to player progression, and let's hope we get Shed and Clark back on the qualifying offers, and we can go look at the rotation for next year. But yeah, those guys are back. You have Edwards, Dillingham up to an 85, Bryant up to an 83, McDaniels up to 89, and Edwards is down to 95. LaVine is down, but again, we don't need LaVine to be that great. We have a lot of good players in front of him. But all right, let's go look at the rotation, although it didn't change much at all. Okay, so here's what the rotation is going to look like. So it's Dillingham, Edwards, LaVine, McDaniels, Bam Adebayo. I mean, it's basically the same thing, other than you do have Carter Bryant, who's developed really nicely. Our proficiency is still 4.5, which is good. So the only other thing I want to look at is shot tendency. So obviously Edwards needs to be scoring a lot, which is great. Dillingham's is gotten up, which is good, and then LaVine's is 77, which I feel decent about that. So we'll leave that. But Dillingham, I'm kind of hoping to become that second guy. We'll see if that ends up working out. But we basically ran it back with a new head coach because we brought in Bam Adebayo and LaVine already. So no crazy new additions. I will see you guys at the end of year 3. Hopefully with a new coach, things go a lot better, but we'll see if that ends up being the case. Maybe we eventually move LaVine to a bench role instead, but we'll see what happens. So we're at the trade deadline, and I'm going to go ahead and trade Zach LaVine in a first for Quinn Grimes. So I'm just looking to get something different here, so we'll make that happen. And then this is what we're going to do. One thing I never even kind of considered is we could play Carter Bryant in the starting 5 now. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Carter Bryant's going to play a role in the starting 5. So we trade LaVine out of here. So now I have Dillingham, Edwards, Carter Bryant, McDaniels, and Bam. With Quinn Grimes, Naz Reid, Jamal Shed, and Jalen Clark all off the bench, and Shannon. So yeah, this looks good. So I guess Shannon's not developed at all, really, which does suck. But we're going to go to an amortization for the rest of the season. And we'll move Jalen Clark back to the 3. So I moved him to the 2 guard earlier, so he'll go back the 3 now and go up to an 82 overall. So that is what we'll roll with. So I actually want to start Jalen Clark, which I guess is interesting, but Carter Bryant will probably eventually take that role back if I had to guess, but whatever. 31 and 18 at the deadline. We trade LaVine away and a first for Quinn Grimes to see if that gives us anything different. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. I'm hoping that this time we can go to the finals because we have not gotten there, and we need to get the Timberwolves, this Timberwolves team there if possible. So Luka wins MVP for Chicago. I got Murinen. Micah. I don't know how to say that name. Rookie of the year goes to Sacramento's rookie. And then Arenas gets 6 man of Chicago. Defensive player goes to Wimby. Fleming most improved, and Brunson clutch player, and Kidd is your coach of the year and executive goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Okay. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third team. So Edwards finally makes an All-NBA team in general for us, which is nice. Here's all-defensive team and all-defensive second team, all-rookie teams. And we ended up as a 2nd seed in the West. So no Denver in sight, which that's good because they've been the team that has trumped us a couple times now. We had 25 from Edwards, 18 from Rob Dillingham, 15 from Bam, 11 from Naz Reid, 11 from Carter Bryant, 11 from Clark, and 10 from McDaniels, 9 from Grimes, and 5, and then 5. Okay. So let's see how this is about to go. Diamond rotation. We'll shrink the bench utilization down to 40, but I'm hoping to make it to the finals for the first time. So we get to play Utah. Who have George, BJ Edgecombe, Markkanen, Boozer, Kessler, Collier, Bobby Portis, and Kyle Filipowski. So they have themselves a nice young team. We beat them by 23 in game 1. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to us, blow them out there, and they tie it up. Okay, so I will say, by the way, which I didn't even really dive. So Dillingham was averaging 18 next to it. He's averaging 23 in the playoffs right now. Okay, so we're in a tied series with Utah, which they're a good team on paper, so I'm not too discouraged by that. This is obviously Quinn Snyder's former team as well that he coached, so it would be nice to get some revenge in the playoffs on them. But Utah might have different ideas. So we are in trouble. We have not had success with this Minnesota team in the playoffs since year 1, basically. So can we force a game 7 to happen, or are we done for here by this Utah young team? So it looks like we'll at least force a game 7, which is good, because we need to get out of round 1. Going home in round 1 2 years in a row would be very, very disappointing. And Edwards, I need you to just be Superman in this game. It looks like we are in the clear as long as no one blow leads. We are going to get out of round 1. A little bit of a tough series, but thankfully we were able to escape it. Dillingham is averaging 25 in the playoffs so far. Now I get to play Memphis. So Memphis has John Morant. They brought in below as well. They don't have Jaren Jackson anymore, but they have Bane coming off the bench. So another good team in Memphis. Desmond Bane's having a damn good series off the bench, or playoffs so far, I should say. Below's shooting 52% from 3 as well. We do win game 1. We won game 2. And we won game 3. And, oh, gentleman sweep? Hopefully? Yes. Okay, so we beat the Grizzlies easily. We had some trouble against Utah, but now we get to play San Antonio or Dallas. It looks like it's about to be San Antonio, so we get to deal with Chet and Wemby as a front court. Why is Chet always leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder all of a sudden? It feels like that happens more often than not. So we get to play them now. Okay, so Cleveland and Indiana on the other side. All right, well, this is not going to be easy. We get to deal with a deadly front court, but we'll see what happens. So game 1 goes to us. We actually blow them out, which is really nice. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3, we are down 2-1, so we're in trouble. We get Carter Bryant back in starting 5. No, they still want to start Jalen Clark. Okay, so let's go see if we can tie up for game 4, because if we go down 3-1 to this team, I think we're done for. We have the lead right now. As long as we hang on to it, we're going home tied. That's good. 135 to 104. Nice. Love that. All right. Carter Bryant back in starting 5. I like it. So game 5 in Minnesota to take the 3-2 commanding lead. Can we do it? San Antonio has a lead for most of the game. We take it at the end. Now hang on to it. We will. 110 and 117. Edwards with 42. Very heroic effort. We needed all of that and then some. Okay, let's do it in game 6 as well. I do not want to go to a game 7, honestly, if I'm being completely transparent. And we're going to a game 7. So there's no... okay, so we have already... Yeah, we're already at an 8-man rotation right now. So game 7, that leaves Terrence Shannon out and Jamal Shed out. But all right. Game 7 to go play the Pacers in the finals. See if we have what it takes to beat the Spurs here. Game 7 at home. Just to get the Timberwolves finally to the finals. Can we do it? They have the lead right now, but we are still right behind them. We take the lead here, and we're going to beat them. 92-107. So we get out of Game 7, and we are in the finals. We get to play Tyrese Halliburton. So obviously Edwards and Halliburton from the same draft class. So 2 guys going at it. Should be fun. So obviously the Pacers just made it to the finals in real life as well. So shout out to them. Kuminga, Siakam. I mean, they have Jarris Walker. So they have a damn good roster. Actually, don't even know how they're able to afford all this. How much is... Oh, Kuminga's on a minimum. That's why. Okay. Fingers crossed. It goes in our way. Game 1 goes to us. 119-106. 26 and 26 from Carter Bryant. Love that. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4. We got to win game 4. Let's go try to win game 4 on the road, because we go up 3-1. We're in a good position to bring this trophy back to Minnesota. Come on. Larry O'Brien could be hoisted right now, and we will win game 4. We got to win one more, and we win, and we do. Just like that. Gentlemen sweep the Pacers. The Grizzlies and the Pacers were easy. Wow, Bam Adebayo won Conference Finals MVP, or sorry, NBA Finals MVP. So, love that. But all that matters is we brought home a championship. It was a struggle to get here, but we finally eventually did. First couple years did not go our way, but it is what it is in that front. That is it for me, guys. I will see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.